No matter how much of our world we've explored, there are still plenty of weird and downright eerie places that refuse to give up their secrets. Lost cities, vanished civilizations, and entire landscapes swallowed by time. These aren't just stories from ancient texts. They're real places waiting to be rediscovered. Some of them seem like they belong in movies or myths, but they're 100% real. Places so strange they shouldn't even exist. Whether it's an underwater pyramid, a city frozen in time, or an entire ecosystem that's been sealed off from the world for millions of years, these locations challenge everything we know about history, science, and life itself. So buckle up, because these are 15 lost worlds that shouldn't exist, but somehow they do. Number 15, the lost city of Z. You'd think by now we'd have uncovered all the major lost cities, right? Well, of course we do a lot. But the Amazon rainforest completely disagrees with this fact. Deep inside its tangled, vine-choked expanse, there are whispers of a forgotten city, a place explorers have hunted for centuries, the city of Z. Back in 1925, British explorer Percy Fawcett was convinced he had proof of an advanced civilization hidden within the jungle. He set out to find it, and was never seen again. Some say hostile tribes took him out. Others believe he and his men starved to death. But there's a much crazier theory. He actually found the city and stayed there. Here's the weirdest part. Recent satellite images have revealed massive geometric shapes buried beneath the jungle canopy, proving that an unknown ancient civilization really was there. So maybe Fawcett wasn't crazy after all. He just found something no one was supposed to see. Number 14, the sunken city of Dwarka. Imagine an entire city sinking into the ocean. Sounds like something out of a myth, right? Well, the ancient Hindu city of Dwarka was exactly that, a legend, until divers actually found it. For centuries, people thought the stories about Lord Krishna's golden city were just religious tales. According to Hindu texts, well, we don't know what. When Krishna died, his city was swallowed by the sea, never to be seen again. But in the early 2000s, marine archaeologists diving in the Arabian Sea stumbled upon massive stone walls, streets, and temple structures, 130 feet underwater. Here's where it gets really insane. Carbon dating suggests these ruins could be 9,000 years old, which would make them one of the oldest cities on Earth, predating even the Egyptian pyramids. If that's true, history books need a major rewrite. What else is hidden beneath the waves? And more importantly, why was this city wiped off the map? Number 13, the underground city of Derinkuyu. If you thought bunkers were a modern thing, guess again. Hidden beneath Cappadocia, Turkey is an entire underground city, 20,000 people's worth, and no one knows who built it or why. Discovered by accident in 1963, some guy knocked down a wall in his basement and found a passageway. Talk about a surprise. Derinkuyu is a labyrinth of tunnels, staircases, ventilation shafts, stables, and homes. It's basically a fully functional underground metropolis, complete with schools, wells, and giant rolling stone doors that could seal off intruders. But here's the mystery. Why did an entire civilization move underground? Some theories say they were hiding from invaders, others suggest they were escaping a disaster. And then there's the really wild theory, that Derinkuyu was built to protect people from something not of this world. The deeper you go, the weirder it gets. Could there be more lost underground cities still waiting to be found? Number 12, the mysterious Nazca Lines. In the middle of Peru's driest desert, massive shapes stretch across the landscape, forming perfectly drawn images of animals, spirals, and strange humanoid figures. These are the Nazca Lines, and their sheer scale is mind-blowing. Some are over 1,000 feet long. Here's the crazy part. They were created between 500 BC and 500 AD, yet they're so huge they can only be seen from the sky. The Nazca people didn't have planes, so who were they making these for? Some scientists believe they were astronomical calendars, while others think they were pathways for religious ceremonies. But then there's the theory that blows everything else out of the water. The idea that these markings were meant for something watching from above. With perfectly straight lines and symbols only visible from the air, the Nazca lines leave us with one burning question. Who were they trying to communicate with? Well, if you find it, then let us know. Number 11. The enigmatic Yonaguni Monument. At first glance, this looks like an ancient underwater city, complete with staircases, terraces, and massive walls. Found off the coast of Japan, the Yonaguni Monument has baffled researchers since its discovery in 1986. Some scientists believe it's just a natural rock formation, but others argue that the sharp angles, carved pathways, and massive stone blocks are too precise to be random. If this was man-made, though, it raises a huge problem, because the monument would have been built at least 10,000 years ago. That's way before any known civilization had the ability to create something this massive. So what gives? Was this city flooded by a prehistoric tsunami? Or was it built by a civilization we've never heard of? Whatever the truth is, Yonaguni shouldn't exist, but it does. And that's enough to make even the most skeptical historians nervous. Number 10. The Ghost City of Pripyat. Some lost worlds are buried under jungles or oceans. Others, they're left behind by humanity itself, like Pripyat, Ukraine, a ghost city frozen in time since April 26, 1986. When the Chernobyl nuclear reactor exploded, the entire city was evacuated overnight. People left everything behind. Toys still lie in kindergartens, newspapers from 1986 sit on tables, and rusted Ferris wheels stand motionless, waiting for a crowd that never returned. The radiation levels dropped enough for controlled visits. But here's the kicker. Pripyat is still dangerous. Stray too far into the wrong areas, and your Geiger counter will start screaming. Even crazier? Some wildlife has started mutating, adapting to the radiation in ways scientists still don't fully understand. Imagine wandering through an abandoned city where time literally stopped, but something not quite normal is taking its place. Pripyat is a real-world time capsule, but some things there should probably stay untouched. If you want to witness it in real life, you should watch the movie. It's freaking awesome. Number 9. The Submerged Pyramids of Cuba. In 2001, researchers scanning the seabed off the coast of Cuba made a discovery that defies history, a collection of massive, symmetrical stone structures sitting 2,200 feet below the ocean's surface. The site, dubbed the Cuban Underwater City, features what appear to be pyramids, roads, and intricate geometric shapes. The problem? If this was a man-made city, it would have been built at least 50,000 years ago, which, according to mainstream history, is impossible. Some scientists claim it's a natural rock formation, but others believe it could be proof of an ancient civilization wiped out by a cataclysmic event. Could it be Atlantis? Or is it evidence of a forgotten past we've yet to fully understand? For now, the submerged pyramids remain an unsolved mystery, and the Cuban government has kept further research tightly controlled. Maybe because they know something we don't? All right, guys. Now, let's move to Number 8. The Secret Vatican Archives. Some lost worlds don't need to be underwater or in a jungle. They just need to be locked away from public eyes. The secret Vatican archives are one of the most restricted places on Earth, filled with ancient texts, forbidden knowledge, and who knows what else. The Vatican claims the archives only contain church records, but conspiracy theorists aren't buying it. Some believe that hidden inside are documents proving extraterrestrial contact, lost gospels that could change Christianity, or even evidence of secret societies controlling history. A few scholars have been granted access, but most of the vaults remain off limits. The church has no reason to hide basic history, so the real question is, what are they protecting and why? Until the Vatican opens its doors, which won't happen anytime soon, we can only guess what lost knowledge remains buried within those walls. Number 7. The Lost City of Heracleion. For centuries, Heracleion was thought to be just a myth, a legendary Egyptian city swallowed by the sea. But in 2000, divers discovered its ruins beneath the Mediterranean, proving that history had once again hidden the truth. What's insane is how well preserved the city is. Giant statues, temples, gold coins, and even intact boats were found on the seabed, looking like they had just sunk yesterday. Ancient texts describe Heracleion as a major trading hub, but something caused it to suddenly vanish. Scientists now believe earthquakes and rising sea levels may have swallowed it whole. But here's the real question. What else is hidden beneath the waves? If a major city like Heracleion could disappear without a trace for 1,200 years, how many other lost civilizations are waiting to be found? Number 6. The Hidden Temples of Ellora Caves. In India, the Ellora Caves are mind-blowing. 34 massive temples carved directly into a mountain, with no signs of scaffolding or construction tools. Archaeologists say they were built between the 6th and 10th centuries, but here's the weird part. No one knows exactly how. Some of the temples are so intricately designed and carved out of a single piece of rock, it would take modern technology to replicate them. The Kailasa Temple, for example, required removing 400,000 tons of rock. But where did all that rock go? One theory suggests the temples were built using a lost ancient technology or even something beyond human capability. And if that's true, who or what helped shape these wonders? Number 5. The Underwater Ruins of Lion City. Deep beneath Qiandao Lake in China lies an entire ancient city, perfectly preserved since 1959. But unlike other lost cities, this one wasn't forgotten. It was deliberately drowned. The 1,300-year-old city, known as Shucheng, Lion City, was flooded to create a hydroelectric dam, submerging streets, temples, and homes under 40 meters of water. But instead of decaying, the city remains astonishingly intact, as if time just stopped. Divers exploring Lion City say it feels like swimming through a ghost town, trapped in a silent underwater world. It's an eerie reminder of how quickly history can be erased, but also how well it can be preserved in the right conditions. Number 4. The ancient city of Petra. Hidden deep in the Jordanian desert, the ancient city of Petra is one of the world's most breathtaking lost cities, a place that was once bustling with life, but then vanished from history. Carved directly into massive cliffs, its towering temples, intricate tombs, and grand amphitheaters make it feel like something out of a fantasy novel. For centuries, Petra was a thriving trade hub, controlling key routes between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. But suddenly, it was abandoned, wiped off maps, and forgotten. By the time European explorers stumbled upon it in the 1800s, it had been hidden for nearly 1,000 years. What's even stranger is that much of Petra is still buried beneath the sand. Only 15% of the city has been uncovered, meaning there are still massive sections waiting to be explored. Could Petra hold clues about a lost civilization? And why did its people vanish without a trace? Some secrets are better left buried. Or are they? Number 3. The mysterious Mount Roraima. If there was ever a place that felt like another planet, it was Mount Roraima, a towering flat-topped mountain rising above the clouds at the intersection of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. With 2,810-meter-high sheer cliffs and an isolated ecosystem, it's often called the Lost World, and for good reason. Scientists believe Roraimo's plateau has been isolated for millions of years, allowing plant and animal species to evolve nowhere else on Earth. Some of its bizarre life forms, including carnivorous plants and black frogs the size of a fingernail, look like something out of a sci-fi movie. But here's where things get really weird. Local myths claim Mount Roraima is sacred, home to spirits, lost treasures, and even the entrance to another realm. The mountain was the inspiration for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel, The Lost World, where explorers find dinosaurs still thriving. Could that idea have come from something real? Whatever its secrets, Mount Roraima isn't just a mountain. It's a mystery waiting to be unlocked. Number 2. The Lost Land of High Brazil. Imagine sailing across the Atlantic and suddenly spotting an island that shouldn't be there, a place that appears out of nowhere and then disappears like a mirage. That's the legend of High Brazil, a phantom island said to rise from the sea once every 7 years, only to vanish again. For centuries, it was marked on old maps, including some from the 14th century. Sailors claimed to have seen it, and in 1674, an Irishman named Captain John Nisbet claimed to have landed there. He described a utopian paradise filled with mystical beings, advanced knowledge, and golden cities. Others who searched for it found nothing but open ocean. Modern theories suggest High Brazil could have been an actual landmass that later sank, or even a misidentified volcanic island. Some even connect it to Atlantis or a parallel dimension. Whatever the truth, High Brazil remains one of history's greatest unexplained maritime mysteries, an island that refuses to be found. Number 1. The ruins of Göbekli Tepe. If you thought the Egyptian pyramids were old, think again. Hidden in the hills of modern-day Turkey, the ruins of Göbekli Tepe date back nearly 12,000 years, 7,000 years older than Stonehenge, making it the oldest known temple on Earth. Discovered in 1994, this mysterious site features massive stone pillars, some weighing over 16 tons, arranged in circles with intricate carvings of animals, humanoid figures, and strange symbols. The problem? According to mainstream history, humans at that time were still hunter-gatherers. They weren't supposed to be capable of complex architecture or organized religion. And yet, someone built this place long before cities or writing even existed. What's even more bizarre, it was deliberately buried. Around 8000 BC, people intentionally covered Göbekli Tepe with dirt as if they were hiding something. Was this the first ever religious site? Or is it proof that history is far older than we think? Göbekli Tepe shouldn't exist, but it does, rewriting everything we thought we knew. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.